Greetings to all those who are joining us in the forum Data and Technology in Cities, organized by Pro Bogotá Region and Go Smart, a global organization of smart cities. Pro Bogotá Region and the Global Smart Cities organization Go Smart have partnered since 2023 to apply experiences and know-how to make Bogotá a smarter region. Taiwan is a world leader in the construction of smart cities, using technology, innovation, and AI to improve the quality of life of citizens and to address urban challenges such as climate change and resource management. We would like to highlight the integrated transportation system, real-time traffic management, access to free Wi-Fi in public spaces, the air quality monitoring system, and in terms of governance, we would like to highlight that Taipei created the Smart City Project Management Office to enable public-private collaboration in smart city projects. Go Smart, which is a global smart cities organization, facilitates collaboration between smart cities to exchange ideas, solutions, and innovation in urban development. Go Smart has played an important role in promoting data-driven urban strategies through various cities networks. Before moving forward this forum and giving the floor to experts that are with us today, I would like to greet Veronica Cui Ying-Yung, who's a representative of the Taipei Trade Office in Colombia. Welcome and thank you for being with us. Thank you for the invitation. Well, thank you. So, do you have something to share with us about what you've been doing with Taipei, the collaboration that we've been working on with Pro Bogotá?
Muy buenos días. Dr. María Carolina Castillo, President of Pro Bogotá, Dr. Li Zhenyu, General Secretary of GoSmart, Mr. Wang Yu, Tech Director of Nadi System, and Mr. Sergio Martinez, partners and participants, good morning and good evening. First of all, I would like to thank my dear friend, Maria Carolina Castillo and her team, as well as Dr. Li Zhenyu and his team for making this forum possible. This event is based on the Memorandum of Understanding signed by GoSmart and Pro Bogotá in 2023, aimed at fostering mutual cooperation to facilitate the exchange of knowledge and experiences in the field of smart city. Thanks to the efforts of and constant communication from both parties, we have been able to take this first step. The development of smart city has been a topic of great importance for Taiwan, and we have worked for several years to finally climb Taipei to the 6th position worldwide and 5th in Asia, out of a total of 142 cities, according to the IMD 2024 Smart City Index. The report considers Taipei as a safe city with great sanitation, recycling, and medical services. In this regard, our office is always ready to support and promote bilateral cooperation, connecting key associations and entities from both sides, with the aim of achieving joint development with Colombia. On the other hand, the global smart city organization, GoSmart, which already has more than 140 members, including countries like Australia, Japan, the Netherlands, France, Brazil, the United Kingdom, and more, is a platform that allows cities, industrial sectors, academic institutions, and researchers to freely exchange information, experiences, problems, and solutions related to smart city, with the goal of creating a sustainable and livable environment for everyone. We hope that Pro Bogotá can leverage this platform to strengthen its local policymaking. In addition to this cooperation between Go Smart and Bogotá, I would like to take this opportunity to extend a cordial invitation to Bogotá to lead a delegation to participate in the Smart City Summit and exhibition in Taipei next year, and meet personally with Go Smart to strengthen the exchange and cooperation. Thank you very much to everyone. I wish you all great success. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much to Veronica Kuai Chu, from the representative of the Taipei Trade Office in Colombia. Thank you for the work that we've been working on together, and thank you for the invitation. Now I will give the floor to Maria Carolina Castillo, who is the president of Bogotá Region. Ms. Veronica Kuei Chu, representative of the Commercial Trade Office in Colombia, our ally for the appropriation of technology in Bogotá so that our companies can improve their commercial exchange with you. And thank you for the invitation to the next year's summit. Dr. Sheng Yu Lui, Secretary General of Go Smart, Mr. Yu Wang, Technical Director of NARIEC System, and our local expert regulator from the Ministry of Telecommunications, Sergio Martinez. And greetings to all those that are connected in this forum. From Bogotá Region, we believe in the importance of generating alliances that allow us to have technical and experiences exchanges. And the people from Taiwan have been very generous with Bogotá, and thus be able to advance in a common vision of sustainable and intelligent urban development for the cities of Bogotá. Each time one of our officials has traveled to Taipei and they know about the progress, they come with a new message. We are coming from the future, and we would like Bogotá to have that qualitative leap. This forum which expands our knowledge on the experience of one of the leading smart cities countries in the world. Taiwan is a pioneer in the implementation of various projects and infrastructure that provide a timely response to the challenges of the 21st century. Mainly this related to climate change. Today, I would like to reiterate our special thanks to Taiwan and to the representative Veronica Kuei Yu of the Taipei Trade Office, who's opened the door to technical and cultural knowledge. For Bogotá, this exchange has been very significant. Bogotá has taken significant steps towards becoming one of the 144 cities included in the Smart Cities ranking organized by the International Institute for Management Development. However, in 2020, the city was ranked 104th, and today we fall in 30 places. We are now at 134th. We hope that this forum will help us to regain our position. The use of technology could help us in efficient and effective solutions. For example, next year, and with the entrance of Metro, we have to introduce interoperability with Transmilenio, especially for the payment system, the organization of the fleet, and everything to tend to over 4 million travelers in the city of Bogotá who travel in public transport system. Urban sprawl is imminent and is increasingly occurring in high-risk zones and protected areas. How can we monitor and control that growth in abnormal areas? Lastly, we have been facing a water crisis. How can we do better foresight? How could we measure or gauge better and maybe take advantage of wastewaters and use better water in the city? Lastly, the technology company in the city, ETB, records significant losses. What type of new business could we explore to take advantage of the context of smart cities and maybe to recover and improve position and to provide solutions to the people of Bogotá? From Bogotá, we highlight the importance of implementing new technologies to solve problems, which allow us to create new development opportunities and improve the quality of life of citizens. Smart cities are in continuous transformation, and in order to contribute and accelerate this conversation from Pro Bogotá, we join the commitment and collaboration of stakeholders in the development of a smart Bogotá and strengthen our human, institutional, and technical capabilities to achieve it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maria Carolina. And today in this forum, we would like to focus in two topics that are very timely for Bogotá. The first one has to do with data infrastructure for decision-making in the city. Right here, we would like to emphasize the challenges and solutions in data integration, geovisualization, and data analysis for decision-making. The second one is monitoring and control of public investment, tools for real-time evaluation of project development based on georeferencing, self-monitoring, and alerts that make it possible to channel the performance of public investment projects with competitiveness, efficiency, and consistency of the information. These topics will be presented by, we have three experts, two international experts and one national expert. In the next video, we will see their profiles. Dr. Cheng Yu Luis, he has been Director General of the International Cooperation Center Taipei Computer Association and Director of the Taipei Smart City Project Management Office. He is currently Secretary General of GoSmart. He was a researcher at the Information Industry Institute, where he was involved in the promotion of smart cities, industrial development of cloud computing, user experience, and e-learning. He has more than 20 years of experience in research and promotion of the ICT sector. He is recognized as a global expert in smart city promotion and ICT industry development. Yu Wang, Technical Director of Análisis, a project manager and technical advisor of multiple digital transformation, smart manufacturing, and system integration projects in chemical industries, pharmaceutical, semiconductors, and metal processing. In addition, he is a technical consultant for generative AI applications at the enterprise level. He is CTO of Nadi Systems, which specializes in data infrastructure and geospatial solutions, providing advanced analytics and visualization tools that support informed decision-making and effective management of public investment. Sergio Martinez, economist from the Universidad de los Andes, with a master's in interdisciplinary studies on development from the same university, master in economics and regulation of public services at the University of Barcelona, and specialization in social evaluation of projects and in economics of risk and information from Universidad de los Andes. He is currently an advisor to the District Agency for the Development of Science, Technology, and Innovation, Atenea, in the execution of the call oriented to the solution of city challenges through AI. He has been Executive Director and Commissioner of the Communications Regulatory Commission, responsible for the regulatory agenda projects to promote the growth of connectivity in Colombia and generate innovation for the ICT. He was a district councilor of the mayor's office in Bogotá, responsible for designing and implementing the digital public policy of the city. To continue with our next part of our experts, I would like to give the floor to Cheng Yu Luis, Secretary General of GoSmart, who will talk to us about data infrastructure for decision-making in cities. Thank you for being with us.
Okay, thank you, Dorina, and President Maria, and Guidashi, and all the distinguished guests from Colombia and friends from Taipei, Taiwan. So I'm Dr. Chen Yu Li, Leo, and yes, I'm the CEO of the International Cooperation Center of the TCA, Taipei Computer Association, and also the Secretary General of the Global Organization of Smart City. And I was the director of Taipei Smart City Office from 2016 to 2023. So today I'm very happy and very honored to share my experience of the smart city to all of you. So for my briefing later, it will include few concepts of the smart city that we, according to my experience, and also especially for the data management and also the data governancy, and I will also give you some of the example of what we have done in the past few years. So basically, I think that smart city is a very complicated and very, both complicated and simple idea. And so if you, in very simple ways, smart cities find any way to improve your city and make it successful and sustainable. So basically, every city have their, different definition of the smart cities. But what I want to emphasize is that, especially for the Taiwan, we are not looking for the, we call it a fantastic, fancy smart cities. So we know there's a lot of, latest technologies such as AI, blockchain, AR, VR, robotic, lots of, very fancy technology right now. But I think the major purpose of the smart city is not to, not only to apply those latest technologies. So what exactly, we need to do is to, consider the major purpose, major goal of the smart city. The first thing is, did we, resolve any problems? And the second one is, don't forget, we need to make the world, make the city, more sustainable. So I think that's the major, goal and core value of the smart cities. So, so for me, I think it's very simple when we looking for smart solution. For example, the first thing we need to consider is, did we resolve any problems? So that's the, according to my past experience, it's the most important thing that we need to consider when we're trying to adapt a new solution or new technologies. And of course, for some of the case, it will enable a possibility that we cannot do in the past. So that also, it's a very good for the smart city. And only very, 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 few percent of the project we do is more like to explore the future. Yeah. So so we believe that it's most important thing of the smart city is always to deal with the issues. And for the for the evolution of the smart city, personally I separate to three different phases. The first one is we establish our infrastructure, so we collect data, we build a communication of the for the city wide. So that's the first step what we need to do for the cities. Then we adapt all kind of solutions, include transportation solutions, healthcare solutions, building solution, education solution, and so on. But we also need to consider what exactly we have done or we need to do to transfer our mechanism. So the last thing I mentioned, I think is extremely important. What exactly we do and what we need to do for our system, because the core value of the small city, in my opinion, is to perform the digital transformations. That means you need to revise your system to change something in your system. That's very important. So that's why during my experience, at the Taipei city government, what we do is, basically we trying to come out with a new mechanism to assist all the agency, all the different departments be able to adapt new solution and new technology, in their department, in their agency. So it's very important to do that. Unfortunately, I don't have much time to describe more. I wish I have another chance to show how exactly we can do that. So we engage lots of private stakeholders, more than 1,000 stakeholders to work with the different agencies to come out to initiate lots of, we call it a proof of concept program projects. And back to the the data governances. We also have a program start from about 6 years ago. So what we do is in Taipei is more like we actually establish a special team to deal with the data governances. For the data governance, actually they have a different level, at least 2 levels. The first one, the base level is the the data management and also the data collection from different agencies. So for every agency, they have their own data center. They deal with their own issue with their data. But another level is the city level. So for the city level, actually, it's more complicated because, for example, if it's very easy to understand what the Department of Transportation need to do. They need to deal with the traffic issue. So the data they collect is relevant to all the transportations. So they can do the decision based on those transportation data, traffic data. But for the government, for the mayor level, it's more complicated. You need to understand what exactly you need to do. So I think so we always ask ourselves, the goal of the data governance is to able to do the better decision making. Yeah, at least you need to meet any one goal of the thing I list in this page, to reduce the fractions and maybe reduce the cost, increase the effectiveness, or maybe to make sure the transparency of the process of the government. So that's very important. Always ask yourself, what's the goal of the data governance? And for the data governance, you need to at least have the main strategy, master plan for your city, for your region. You need to have a special organization to do that, because as I say, for every department, they already have the team to do that. But in the city level, you need to have a special organization or special team to do that. And you need a policy. For example, you need to establish all the standards. That's very important. And how exactly you collect the data, for example, and to make the evaluation. And of course, to adapt what kind of technology. I think that's the easy part for Taiwan, at least in Taiwan. And to communicate with all the stakeholders. That include the people, the citizen, and also other public servants. So how exactly you work? So you need to understand, you need to define the issues. I think that's also the most difficult part. As I mentioned, if you are in a department, the issue is very simple. For the Department of Health, what they're trying to do is, for example, they want to, make sure that their hospital work very well, their whole insurance system works very well. That's the major goal of the Department of Health. But for the level of the mayor, we always confused with what exactly we want to do with the data. So you need to define the issue. What is the major, problem that you want to solve, majorly, and who in charge, and how to collect data, and standards. I'm sorry, due to the time limit, I cannot go for the details. Maybe we can have a further discussion and later. Yeah, so I just go through what exactly we have done in the past few years. And of course, what to analyze and how to analyze and how to use and open or not. And it's also very important issue to open the data to the public. So I'll give you a few examples. The first one is a very simple and very easy example. It's about the traffic data. So what we do is, we collect the traffic flow from the intersection to make sure that we can do better to control the traffic light. For example, during that time we don't have the AI, can be adjust the traffic light real time, but so that make us have a very important reference data to do what exactly we need to do with the traffic light, for example, and how to make people to be able to have a better route to reduce the impact of the traffic. So that's how exactly we do. We collect the traffic flow by the very great camera installed in the sections, and works very well. And we also collect the data. For example, I'm sorry, my slide stops. So okay, maybe I will end here. So we also collect the data of for example, the housing of the people who take the taxi, and it's a brand new data because we don't have that kind of data before. So what we do is work with the private sector, the taxi company, and they provide the data to the Taipei city government. And what Taipei city government do is to analyze those hazards and be able to set up the parking place for those taxi. So that means if we set the parking place for the taxi close to the hard zone, it will reduce the time they pick up their customer. So that is new services, according to the new data. So that's also another way to do. So as I say, so for some of the data, we use them to deal with the old issues. But for some of the new data, we can be able to improve our systems. So okay, so I basically we collect lots of data from different departments and different agencies, and of course, as I say, we do more than 300 projects. So we collect all the data from those projects. So in my conclusion is, there's a few key factors for the smart city. The first one, you need to have the leadership. Leadership, that means you need to understand what's the purpose, what's the major goal of your smart city programs. Every city have a different situation, so they will establish a different vision, a different goal, and so that everything will follow the vision and goal. So it's very important to have the very strong leadership, and with open mind, very willing to share and work with the private sector. And of course, as I say, you need to revise your system that will make your city better. No matter what change you do, you always make your city better and knowledge. So that's everything from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Cheng Li, Secretary General of GoSmart, for sharing with us all your experiences. Now I would like to give the floor for Yu Wang. He's the Director of NADI Systems, and he will have a presentation on follow-up to public investment, how AI, how the smart cities can do more effective control of investments in the city. Thank you, Anna. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. And hello, everyone. My name is Hugo. My Chinese name is Yu Wang. It's so glad to be here. I remember that when I was studying my master's degree, one of my very close friends, Corey Gilmore, he's from Colombia. So I think he's so happy to connect to Colombia again. Okay. So today I want to bring to you is how do we monitor the public investment from the perspective of smart city. So I'm Hugo, tech director from NADI System. Análisis is a leading digital twin company in Taiwan. We specialized in building a multiple dimensional measurement system for industry, city infrastructure, and telecom networks. So, okay. Here is our history of company. Sorry, I cannot skip this slide. Now that we have won a lot of business competition and accelerators, and we cooperate with city governments to do some good example on a sandbox. So when we talk about public investment, the money you and me pay to governments, we hope that it will solve some real problem, right? We expect stable power and water supply, and maybe smooth traffic, or at least a warning when the traffic was bad before we set off, right? And now we use our smartphone every day, so we hope the network and the connection is fast and reliable. But here comes the challenge. To ensure everything working properly, I think our instinct is to add sensors, lot of sensors. So here we got CCTV cameras, like Dr. Lee just shown to us, and we got some water pressure gauges, electricity meters, animal meters, fire alarms, and I think the list goes on and will be long. So imagine that a city as a living organism. These sensors become the nervous system, detecting those emergencies and sending alerts to triggering some responses from governments, departments, or agents, right? But I think now we are in the 2025, the year of AI. So those reaction, or we call post-action alone, it's not enough anymore. What we want is more. We want something is predictive, and we want some proactive prevention, and we want the coordination across the systems must be automatically. So then we have to run. We run into an older but still painful problem, which called data silos. So in NADI, we proposed a solution, and it's our software architecture, meaning that when it comes to system integration, there are many heterogeneous data. What is heterogeneous? Which means that the data is from a different system in different formats, and sometimes even in different speeds on different platforms. So, for example, a broken water pipe might not alert the nearby telecom network until hours later. And like if there's a power outage, since we're in Taiwan, so here's an earthquake, right? So when we run into like a power outage, which would affecting a wide font, might not be visible to city traffic control. So without the system integration, our sensors, it's our nervous system of a city only create isolated information island. So we can see, but we still cannot act fast enough, right? So that's why NADI system, we believe digital twins are critical, and we think digital twins are the brand of a smart city. In NADI, we are not just build beautiful 3D models. We are doing some tough job, which we connect all the sensors, infrastructure, and people into a single real-time and visualized platform. And as you can see the architecture here, the raw data are from many different platforms, like it might from water department, or maybe from the like electricity department, but we can create a gateway, which is an application interface we have proposed called NADI data interface to transform all those data into single and uniform format, so that our backend can integrate all those things together and show to our end user in this very beautiful dashboard. I will show you the real example later. So we turned, actually, after our transformation of those raw data, we actually turned static facilities like a telecom network or the building you see here into a dynamic and real-time and interactive for those users. So here is a basic unit of a smart city, which is a building. So we built this digital twin for this building. Is I think it's Foxconn. So I think building is the most fundamental unit of a city, right? So in this example, we actually connect all those CCTV, which monitor the crowd flow, and we can control the AC temperatures and its availability in real time. And if you want, actually, we can switch to any floor to watch its real-time situation and all of its status right away. So here is another example. I think it's a government building as well. So in this example, we also integrate all the CCTV, fire alarms, and the door permissions. So I think this example is more clear that you can see the real-time situation within the elevator, and we can see all the door is locked well in real time. And if something happens, like trigger an event, in the right button, you can see we have a alarm panel to notify the people who are watching this dashboard to trigger some action. So here is another example, is a smart factory. And I think since time is limit, I will skip this. I will just talk to the, I think this example will be better. This example is a telecom infrastructure monitoring. In NADI system, we cooperate with telecom companies in Taiwan very close. This example is what we built for a telecom company called Yuan. And for telecom infrastructure, our digital twin system visualize base stations all across Taiwan, fiber routes, network health, and service alerts, all on one screen. So when a disaster strikes, city officials can immediately see where the service is down or affected, how critical the damage is, and prioritize the recovery efforts much faster than before. So here is another a good example, I think. Taiwan is an island, so electricity, power is always a problem. I think power is very important and critical, especially for a country like us. So this example is what we did for offshore wind energy. Our system monitors all those turbines' health, vibration data, temperature, and up level. We help operators to predict those maintenance of the turbine and when it needs to optimize and to do some the maintenance period prediction. So the operators can really do very well and to reduce the operational cost via our system. So beyond the real-time monitoring, we laying for the foundation of AI-driven cities. Since as you can see, actually in our system we integrate not just many different formats of data. We collect massive data. So I think data is the foundation of AI, especially for like generative AI and those CV, what we call computer visualization. So as AI model become more powerful, the massive amount of data in it, NADI can provide it. Since all of those data through our NADI data interface, we already cleaned those data into structured and contextual data. So we can imagine that if without the integrated digital twins, all the valuable city data remains locked in silos, belongs to its original departments. So those data will be fragmented and unusable. So by unlaying data across different sectors like energy, what we mentioned, telecom, and transportation, we turn basic information into actionable intelligence and ready for AI to analyze, predict, and optimize. So in a nutshell, NADI, we think and we believe digital twins connect the city's neurons, and AI will become the city's brain. So I think whether we are in Bogotá or in Kaohsiung, the challenge are always the same. How do we make cities smarter and faster and more resilient? Here is our achievement. Actually, what we did in NADI, we actually resolved many problems, and we addressed the feeling of our citizens. So in another system, we are excited and expected to be the part of the answer. We welcome this opportunity to cooperate and help more cities transformation with digital twins and AI. And thank you. That's all my sharing.
Thank you very much, you, for this presentation, for being with us. And following, I would like to give the floor to Sergio Martinez, our Colombian expert, who's going to talk to us about solutions to the challenges in Bogotá, how we can solve them, and how AI is vital to have a more effective and efficient city. Sergio, welcome. Thank you very much, Adriana, and greetings to all those listening to us, especially Maria Carolina from Pro Bogotá, the people from Go Smart. Greetings to the representative from the Taipei representative in Colombia, Dr. Veronica Chengdu, and to my panel members, to Cheng and you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your presentations. Thank you for the dedication that you've provided, telling us everything you've done in your country. So we are grateful because we do need to work in these fronts. I will begin my presentation providing some context so we can then have a conversation grounded in Colombia. It's some context that you become aware of the realities of Bogota in a general manner. First and foremost, we share the vision of smart cities. We do in three large fronts. We are working in Bogota for over 16 years. The first one has to do with infrastructure. Our country, Colombia, and Bogota, in 2023, we received 5G technology. So that's one of the drivers for the Internet of Things and data transmission. So we are in Bogota developing coverage with private operators, but it has only been done in the largest areas of the city, the most important, but it hasn't reached the outskirts of the city. Now the city leads the ranking in terms of penetration of fiber optics. Over 25% of households have these services. In the city, we still have a landline cable, coaxial cable, where we have land lines and communications. But most importantly, we're also developing in Bogota mobile 4G and 5G mobile technology. Colombia is the leader. Bogota is the leader in Colombia with the internet, mobile internet penetration access in our country. So in infrastructure, we are leaders. We do have challenges, and I will talk to you about them. The main challenge is that we need to close the gaps in rural areas of Bogota. The second one, which is very important as well, the city needs to strengthen fiber optics network. Although we do have large operators in the city, it is important that we have a more robust network, because fiber optics at the end of the day will ensure 5G transmission. And another front, which is quite limited to what you mentioned, it's a very incipient development of Internet of Things, machine solutions or B2B, and those solutions we need to strengthen them in the city. That is the infrastructure. Now, with respect, digital governance, it's also, and you touched on a very vital topic for the country and for the city. The first thing I would like to say is that in Colombia, we do not have an important data development. According to the national government, about 10 years ago, they conducted a study, and about only 30 or 40% of the information of the national system is digitalized. So let's imagine 60% of the information is still in physical archives, or they're not in centralized databases, or they don't have the right data to be able to make an efficient use thereof. 10 years ago, also in Bogota, we opened the Open Door portal. So the city has a portal, and you can also look at its open data portal, where mobility entities, security entities, environment, health institutions, they can register their data. But that data is about 20-25% of the global data of Bogota. So just imagine the potential that this has for the development of the city. Without data, it will be very difficult to have the digital twins that you talked about in your presentation, or to have those dashboards that are so important for the development of the city. A third aspect, which is also vital regarding data, and I will go, one of the questions that we would talk about is we also have silos. You also mentioned silos in your presentation. We have the health secretary with mobility with another data, police with other data. We also have the information of social services in another database, and they don't talk to each other. We don't have interoperability. There is no interoperability in terms of databases, maybe in applications, or maybe in different upper layers of interoperability. But we need that communication. So a citizen in Bogota, for example, or an entrepreneur who wants to build a building or have a construction, he doesn't have to do the map again and give it to cadastre, to aqueduct, and it's the same map of the project. Now that you saw how buildings are made in Taipei, well, we can do that in Bogota, but we won't be able to do that if the entities keep requesting the same information. They're not coordinated. So this is also a huge challenge. Another vital challenge that we have in the cities, it relates to data, is to have governance, an authority that can lead the way of data. Dr. Lee mentioned that if we don't have governance, if we don't have digital leadership in the city, it would be very difficult to take these projects. So in Bogota, we don't have a robust authority providing support guidelines. So how to use the data. So those are key critical factors that we see to solve data. So if we don't have data, it will be very difficult to conduct AI because algorithms, programming from which they're nurtured, it stems from the data. So this is really important. Another great component of a smart city is innovation. We believe that Colombia has a great potential. Bogota concentrates more than 40% of the largest universities, research centers. The main technology companies are in the city. The city that has more registry or trade registry, digital companies, so that will help us to solve the challenges of the city. So this component of smart cities is important for the development of Bogota. And it is vital that innovation is anchored with the other two components, digital governance and also infrastructure. If all those three components are not strong enough, well, two are weak, one is strong, it will be very difficult. We won't be able to have a revolution in the city if we don't have the infrastructure, because how are we going to do the transmission of data of cameras, data of buses for security? So we won't be able to have also a uniform development of the city if we don't have a digital government who is committed. During the pandemic, we made great strides. People from Bogota, they can pay taxes through internet, but we still have a lot of proceedings that are digital in other cities. For example, a traffic fine, requesting doctor's appointments. And so this is a very important agenda also to work with new emerging technologies. Lastly, and I would like to take the opportunity to refer to two specific topics that I'm sure they affect people from Bogota. And I would like you to guide us, our colleagues from Taipei, Dr. Lee and Dr. Yu. Bogota has a very significant security problem, so it is important to know about the experiences on technology and security. You mentioned AI cameras and how we use them. But how can we really make security receive all that technology? This is vital. And I would like to, in the international rankings, as Carolina mentioned, we're not well measured because we are well behind in Latin America. Cities like Santiago de Chile, Mexico, Rio de Janeiro, they do have emergency systems, first-level emergency systems, and they're all integrated among all authorities. The second point point that I wanted to mention is to have an agenda, and I would like to listen to your opinion. Is the crisis that we are now, environmental crisis that we are experiencing. How can we make emerging technology help people from Bogotá to save water, to optimize the use of the aqueduct, that we can have devices to control consumption. We see that there is a revolution in sensors, Internet of Things. So I do believe that it is important that we can work in those two aspects. And I wanted to tell you that they affect people from Bogotá. So infrastructure, digital governance, and innovation, this is really where we can consolidate Bogotá as a smart city. Thank you, Adriana. Sergio, thank you very much for your intervention. So we have 15 minutes of conversation so you can exchange ideas. As Sergio said, for the contributions from our Taiwan experts, they can be grounded and land here in Colombia. So we have a Bogotá region that is more intelligent, that uses all these tools to improve and to enable and facilitate the use of citizens. So we have 15 minutes to exchange points of views and questions. Sergio, thank you. Taking into account the presentations, and again, thank you, Dr. Lee and Dr. Yu Wang, for your presentations because of the importance for Bogotá. So again, thank you to Bogotá region. And the first question, it's a question that relates to the reality of Bogotá. We are in a very incipient stage. We are not similar to Asian cities, North American cities, or European cities that you have studied. So taking into account this, our level, what would be the first step for us to work on, to move forward, or to progress and implement the strategies that you mentioned in your own presentations?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sergio, for the question. It's a very, very great question. I think it's the major challenge that most, the city face when they're trying to do something for the small cities. So basically everyone meet the same question and the same challenge. So what I recommend is, first thing, as I mentioned in my talk, the first thing you need to do is try to make a master plan of the smart cities. I mean, to clarify what is your goal. Basically, most of the city, the first thing we need to do is to, of course, we want to have some new solution to resolve all problem. So the first goal should be always do something to deal with the problem, to improve the situation. For example, you have a very serious traffic problem, and start to take care of the problem step by step. So first one, always you're always looking for the solution that can help you to resolve the problem, and always But I believe that all the city also have another very important, vision or goal. For example, you want to promote your industry, or maybe you want to increase your job economic, or you want to, communicate with the citizen, or maybe you want to, achieve the net zero issue. So that's very important to establish your vision and make everyone know what is your goal, what is the direction that make every agency can follow. So that's very important for the first step. And the second step is you need to establish a special group, a special office, for example, to helping your agency to communicate with each other and to define the problem and resolve the problem. So what I mean is, silo issue is always the major issue for the communication in a city level. But it always happens because everyone in charge, they only care about what they are doing because that's their duty. So you need to have a special office to communicate making the horizontal communication. That's very important. So that can reduce the silo. And the last thing is, you don't need to worry about the situation. As I say, there are always lots of problems to deal with. So what you need to do is to do anything that can improve better. For example, what the one of our major purpose in Taipei is to try to make every agency can be able to adapt new solution. That's the major thing we do. So what we do is we start the office, and I lead 20 people, and we make every agency, can be able to work with the private sector. They don't necessarily to be a tender, probably a very small case. Always start with a small case and make them to comfortable with the system, and they know they don't have any risk to do the proof of concept project, and they will start to change. So what I try to say is, you never expect that every agency can do by themselves, because the reason they don't do that, because the system make them can do that. So what you need to do, as I say, to try to help them to be able to revise their system a little bit and be able to do something new, to deal with their old issues. And for the data governancy, I think there's two major steps you need to do. The first one is you need to come out with the purpose of the data governance. What I say is what you want to achieve. If you don't know what exactly you want to do in the mayor level, and honestly, that's not the first priority of the smart city, because in Taipei, for example, we do the data governance after 4 years. In the fifth year of the program. Why? Because it's not the most emergency issues. You need to every agency, they can deal with their issue by their own data, and they already have system, and it's very professional system. So that's good enough. For example, the traffic department, they have their own intelligent transportation system to deal with, to manage every intersection, every traffic light. And if they want to do more, what they do is they just adapt some new technology, new solution, and collect data from there. Then they already have their standards. Also, it's not very difficult for them to do that. So that's the first step. Just make them be able to establish a standard, and also acquire some new solution, new data. And that's for the agency level. That will be easier. But for the the mayor level, you need to understand what exactly you want to do. So you probably need to spend 1 year, 2 years to discussion with all the stakeholders and make sure what's the issue you want to deal with. Then you can start your the city level data governance. And with the standard, of course, I provide the flow and thing to do in my presentation. So I think it's very easy to follow. So that's how exactly we do in the Taipei city government. And
Muchísimas gracias.
One more thing. If you're looking for good solution, reasonable price, feel free to talk to the Wang. I think in Taiwan, we have a lot of experience, and we can provide a very good deal to you. Yeah, you even can have a pilot run. I believe that all our industry partner very willing to support you. Yeah.
Muchísimas gracias.
Think your observations are very interesting and valuable for the city. And the next question that I think will give us more, will shed some light, you, Wang, and especially we thank you for your interest in Colombia and Bogota. You are aware, you mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. In technology, for example, and that was my experience in Bogota, and I've seen this in my years of work. We see so many technological solutions that are wonderful, but they are very costly. They're very expensive. So, as you know, Bogota's financial situation is quite complex. We are a third world city. We have things to tend to in terms of security, health, traffic. So, this question is really aimed at how can we have solutions, simple solutions, low cost solutions. Maybe you can recommend one so we can solve some of the challenges. So this should not be a burden for the entities or for the cities like Bogota. So what would be your recommendation so we can have good technological low-cost decisions easily implemented, and they may be able to render swift results to face the challenges?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sergio Martinez, and thank you, Dr. Lee, again to recommend Analysis. So for this question, I think my aspect is quite similar and corresponding to what Dr. Lee just said. I think my point of view is more from the engineering and implementation for those different system integration. I think the problem you mentioned in Bogota is not just I think it is a common scenario for any country, any city, and any department. And when we talk about system integration and software development, there are two principles we have to remember that from my seniors. The first one is always remember that the resources are limited. The resources could be what we just said, budget, a financial budget, or like CPU. And since AI is quite hot today, so GPU is and resources we have to consider about. That's the first principle we have to remember that resources is always limited. And the second principle is that we always think big, but we have to step small. So I think to combine those two principles together and to step out our first little achieve it's always to define the question we want to solve first, and we have to break down this question again and again to many small and solvable small questions. So the first step is always to start small, but which is important. The outcome have to be visible. For example, like what I just shared with you in my slides. The first example is maybe we can start with a hospital or a government building, such as, and maybe a street is good. So like we can make a street lighting become a smart street lighting or water management. And we can launch many pilot projects that use IoT sensors. I think IoT sensors is common today. CCTVs, temperature sensors, anemometers with, and then we integrate them all use some API, or there are many open source solutions, then we can build a simple dashboard. So our stakeholders or high-level management, they can really see the budget has really do some outcomes here. So once the success is visible, it becomes easier to gain and do the public support, and we can gain some. We can gain more budget to continue our smart city visions. So I think big and steps small is the best, is the feasible way to scale up and across the city. So instead of building a giant AI solution initially, I think a step small and build some beautiful dashboard may be more easier, feasible, and the outcome is measurable for the government. So I think set up APIs like we can use in HTTP or some message queue, or maybe you have heard there's an open source solution called CKAN. They are, I think, affordable and easy to implementation solution for all of those software development or government agencies to step out to step out and achieve the first outcome. So again, I have to sell my company again. If you are interested in building this kind of solution, please find another systems. Thank you.
No, muchísimas gracias de nuevo.
So again, thank you very much. You, Wang, thank you. Really, we are thankful because this is vital for the development of intelligent cities. The ability to have pilot programs solving small problems that we can then broaden and we can generate, they can have traction and then solve the problems of the city. That's an important message. The same question for both of you, and this will be my last question. Please, about 2 minutes to answer the question. It's something really important for the Pro Bogotá, which is the dialogue with the private sector. This is an organization that fosters that dialogue, and we want to strengthen the dialogue. So my question to you is, how can we strengthen public-private alliances or partnerships to solve the challenges of cities like Bogotá? How can we bring the private sector, under your experience, to conduct digital developments, and the private sector will be a contributor to solve the problems in the city? So again, thank you, Maria Carolina. Thank you to Go Smart, to everyone, to you. And I would like to give the floor to our two guests so they can close by conveying a message on their perspective of smart cities that you have. Thank you very much.
Okay. So maybe I can be the first one. Okay. So, okay. Thank you. So I think, it's always very important to work with the private sector for two reasons. The first reason, you always need more a brain to assist you to come up with a more concrete plan. And the second one is, as you mentioned, that actually, not only for Bogotá, I think all the city they always have very limited resources. I mean, very limited budget. For example, even in Taipei. So, it's always very important to how to work with and partner with the private sector. So what I suggest is two. The first one is, it's a very important to have a mechanism to work with the private sector, to communicate with the private sector, because I'm not sure in Colombia, but in Taiwan, it's very difficult for the normal public servant to meet to talk to a private sector. So you need a new mechanism to help them to do that. So what we do, our experience is we establish, as I say, we establish a special office to talk to all the private sectors. So now it becomes one of the mechanism. So if any private sector, they have a new idea and they have any new solutions, what they do is talk to the office. Yeah, that make everything easier. Yeah, and second one, then the next thing you need to do is you need to establish some mechanism for them to be able to do the pilot project. That's very important. So, I think the private sector is very willing to support because they always need the reference of the with the government. So if you can provide a chance for them, even you don't give them tender, but you work with them, they're given very great reference to do their business. So that's the first thing. You need to establish the content and also the proof of concept or pilot process. And for the second one, I think it's also very, very important, especially you want to provide some sustainable services to the citizens. You need to have a very complete, very mature PPP model, public-private partnership models. What I mean is not only to do the pilot programs. For lots of cases, you don't need to pay for the solution. What you need to do is give them the authority to do the business in your city. For example, in Taipei, we have a lot of services. Actually, the city government, don't pay anything for the private sector. What the Taipei city government do is, to establish the policies that make all the department can be able to work with the private sector, and they open the field. For example, I give you an example. About 3 years ago, we start to provide the power bank. Power bank for your charge for your cell phone. We start the power bank rental solution in all the metro stations. And, the city government don't pay anything for that. What the city government do is we establish a new regulation that, make the private sector can, propose the solution, and after we do that, and they can be able to do the business inside the metro stations. And we pick up one of the supplier by the process, because you always need a process to pick up one of the partners. We pick the best one, and they pay the rent, and they do the business to provide the power bank rental for all the citizens, and they even provide benefit because they work with the Taipei city government. So the first 30 minutes free in the first phase. So it deal with the problem, because in the past, what we do is we provide the charging station inside the metro station, but actually you need to spend a lot of money to maintain the charging station. It makes no sense, because that's the major purpose of the metro agency. Yeah, so it's the service is terrible, because that actually is not a business. So after the partnership model established, it make the private sector can do the business, they can make money, but they also provide the service to the agency, to the public. So, but you need the new regulation and new system to do that. So that's the answer from me. Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Yu Wang.
Hugo, por favor, muchísimas gracias, doctor Lee.
Okay, thank you for Dr. Lee. And I think my answer for this question will be quite short, since as Naughty System is a private company, the answer and the proposal what Dr. Lee just mentioned is what we think. Actually, as a startup and private company, we always are seeking for the opportunity to build some reference with government. Sometimes we maybe making money is quite important, but as a startup, we have to think about reputation and reference, since we want to go far and scale up, right? So I think if government can give us more opportunity, like host some small-scale sandbox competition, some innovation competition, or give us some accelerators for us to propose our solutions to public, to governments, then I think no startup or no private company will reject this opportunity. It's so treasure for us. But behind this, I want to propose another perspective, which is if since we in Nadi we are not just a traditional digital twin. We do some AI. We have some AI project and AI product in our product line. So to build the AI. Data is very important, but actually, I want to say is that data, especially for massive and structured data, is very costly. It's expensive. So, but actually, those raw data now they have already exist in government, right? Although they might be in scattered everywhere, but they already exist. So if a government can open those non-sensitive data, city data to public, or leave it to like the private sector like us, I think they will be very helpful for us to develop some more smart city solution and AI product. And yes, in Taiwan, some of our public city data, which is non-sensitive, has already provided by government to private sector and startups like us. Okay, and that's my answer. Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you very much to all our experts that have been with us in this forum. You've been connected from Taiwan, and thank you, of course, to Sergio, and thank you to Pro Bogotá, our president, Maria Carolina Castilla, the Taipei representative, Veronica. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. Undoubtedly, Bogotá maybe will be a city that uses these tools better, these tools of AI, these tools used by smart cities, so we can provide our citizens an improved quality of life and well-being. So again, thank you very much to the experts, and thank you to all those that connected in data and technology in the cities. Our special guest, again, thank you. If you would like to review the context of this forum, you can look it up in our website or YouTube channel. So again, thank you to everyone until we meet again.